guys, Rachel here from the Confused Millennial, and today I am super excited to bring you Dollar Tree Halloween DIYs. I've got my Halloween shirt on. They're really fun, really easy, and as a bonus, this video is actually a collaboration with my good friend Callie from But First Coffee. What we did was she went to her Dollar Tree and picked out an item for me, and I went to mine, picked out something for her. We shipped them to each other. We have no idea what the other one sent us, and we have to use it. Make sure to go ahead, hop over to her channel after this. I'll leave a link in the description box below. See what I sent her, see what she made with it. Give her a follow, she's amazing. And let's see what she sent me. This is like Christmas. Ooh, this is fun. I got these kind of, I think I'm gonna leave these. They remind me of spider webs. Definitely required me to flex my creative muscles. But I have to say, I am thrilled with how this came out. The actual shape of the tray reminded me of a coffin. So I decided to create this mummy hand spooky serving tray. For this DIY, you are going to need, first, we need to spray paint the bottom of this tray black. It was raining outside, so I just gave it a really quick coat. It's a little bit see-through still, but I really like that look. It was not perfectly polished. You can skip this step or do it, totally up to you, to create our mummy hand. My Dollar Tree didn't have an actual like thick hand, so instead I used this skeleton hand as a base. I wanted to get it a little bit meatier, and the fingers were a little short. So this is where the bag of bones came in handy for me. If you're using an actual hand or something with longer fingers, you can skip the bag of bones. I needed to go ahead, hot glue my bones onto the fingers to make them a little bit longer, and then I needed to add some meat onto this hand. It was super bony. So what I did was I took some of the spider webbing that you can get at the Dollar Tree, and I just a line of hot glue just down the middle of the front and back of the skeleton part, and I just laid it on really gently. Once I had my padding on, I went ahead and wrapped it gently again in gauze. I really wanted this to stay fluffy and meaty. Added a little bit of hot glue here and there. And then I already had some leftover of their white creepy cloth cut into squares. So then I kind of just like paper mache'd that onto my hand to kind of give it a little bit more of an old, creepy, worn feel. And the hardest part was definitely just making sure I shaped the fingers. I wanted them to be fat like mummy hand. With my mummy hand done, it was time to affix that onto the tray. So I started off by just gluing the base of the arm of the mummy hand. I noticed it was kind of heavy and it kept falling over. So what I did was I used one of my spare bones to kind of create this leaning effect. You can use a popsicle stick or a chopstick if you didn't need this bag of bones. So really just anything that's simple, small, and will get the job done for helping to prop up your mummy hand. It worked perfectly. I went ahead and grabbed some Halloween florals I had lying around from the Dollar Tree. So I like the ones that have the little eye. I like the ones with the spider. I laid it out first. Once I decided where I wanted these items, I went ahead and just put a little dot of glue directly on the tray. You could go ahead and leave this exactly as it is, in my opinion. Fill this in with some candy and you're good to go if you want. However, I wanted to kind of make this a little bit spookier, a little bit more cemetery-like, and I had this mixture of cobwebbing, kind of like this dead mossy grass that you can find in the garden section at the Dollar Tree. This is literally just a broken up skeleton from their skeleton garland. I had actually used this in a DIY from last year, so I went ahead and just repurposed it. It fit perfectly onto the tray to fill this in a little bit. You can still add candy onto this. You can still add whatever you want onto this. I just thought it really brought to life the whole graveyard feel I was going for. There you have it, my spooky mummified hand tray. I probably need to get a better name than that. Next is gonna be our ghost garlands. I think these are the cutest in the world. They literally cost like $3 to make, and I'm obsessed. For this, you are going to need, all you're gonna do is first cover up your eyeballs. You need your balls totally white. Set those aside and then go ahead and cut about 6-inch strips of the gauze. Each ghost needs 2 layers of gauze. What you're gonna do is take your hot glue gun and one of the balls, and then literally as if you were just drawing an equator around this middle section of your ball. Take your first layer of gauze, go ahead, pull it on. Be careful because the gauze is holy, the glue is hot. There are finger protectors you can get at the Dollar Tree, but I'm a rebel and I don't like things on my fingers when I work. And then it's time to apply your second layer. I like laying the second layer of gauze on top of the first one in a way that it created kind of like an X or a cross. So you're gonna hold that onto your ghost, add a little bit of glue to the top middle, and then go ahead and just take your string and add that on top of the glue. Hold that in place for like 30 seconds. Grab your black marker, add some eyes. If you want to make little faces, feel free. And then you're going to want to go ahead and just twist the bases of the ghost and kind of really make sure you're forming them in a way that you like. If you have hairspray or like a starch spray, you can go ahead and spray your ghosts with that so they really hold their shape. I didn't have either, so pretty much over like a 24-hour period, I just twisted them like, I don't know, 5 or 6 times, and eventually they held their forms exactly how I wanted. And this is how they came out. They're so freaking cute. I'm obsessed with them. Next up is my Dollar Tree Cousin-It, which I am really excited about. I don't know about you, but I was a huge Addams Family fan growing up. When I was at my Dollar Tree, I saw these hula skirts and I just grabbed a handful of them. Definitely hurry up to your Dollar Tree because when I went back a week ago, they didn't have any of these left. Fingers crossed you can get your hands on some of these because I have a couple other really awesome DIYs in the pipeline with that. What you're going to need for this, all you're gonna do is take your plunger. If you like the height of the plunger on its own, you can go ahead and work right off of that. I wanted a little bit more height to my Cousin-It. So what I did was I took a random box I had in my house that was thin. You want something that's to be hidden underneath Cousin-It. I hot glued the plunger on top of it. The hot glue I had didn't really hold, so I would recommend either using Gorilla Sticks hot glue, or I just ended up using some really thick masking tape for this, which worked really well. And then I took a skull from the Dollar Tree. This one was actually from a DIY I did last year, which I will leave a link to my Dollar Tree Halloween DIYs from 2019 in the description box below. So this one already had an X cut at the base of the skull, but if yours is a new one, just cut an X into the base of the skull, and you are just going to slide that right on top of the plunger. You can hot glue it in place if you want, so it's a little bit more sturdy, or you can just push it down and just be aware it may shift a little. With your inner base solidified, take one of the hula skirts and your hot glue gun and start to glue it around the forehead of your skull. So if you have 3 hula skirts, you definitely want this first layer to reach the floor, so it should fully cover your entire structure. And then as you go ahead and paste on the second and third layer, you may want to move it up like a ½ inch to give it a little bit more dimension and depth. That's up to you. I only had 2 hula skirts for this, and I knew I wanted to be able to reuse one of these hula skirts for a different DIY I'm doing later on in this year, so I didn't want to hot glue my second hula skirt onto my skull. So what I did was I just went ahead and tied it on, literally knotted the hula skirt at the back of Cousin-It's head so nobody could see the tie. That's all getting covered by the hat. There you have it, our Dollar Tree Cousin-It. If you do want to add sunglasses, if you can find child-sized sunglasses, those will probably fit the skull's head perfectly. Otherwise, you may need to hot glue the sunglasses like where his ears would be. And make sure to hit that notification and subscribe button because I'm going to be sharing a bonus video with you guys in a couple days, a decorate with me video showing you how I used all items from the Dollar Tree or that were $1 at Target to decorate our home for Halloween this year, and you definitely won't want to miss that. Next is this spooky ornament wreath that I'm obsessed with. It feels very Nightmare Before Christmas type of feel, and I love it. For this DIY, you are going to need For assembling your wreath, you're gonna wanna start by taking your ribbon and kind of covering that innermost circle of the wreath. You can just go ahead and wrap it around a bunch of times. Doesn't need to look perfect. From there, it was time to get to applying our ornament. I started hot gluing them to the outermost circle of the wire ram. All the way around, full circle, keeping in mind where the top of my wreath was gonna be, so where I was planning to hang it from, and just kind of coming up with a pattern that I liked in the process. I found it easier to figure out where I was going to place the ornament and then hot glue onto the ornament and just place that onto the wreath. Once my outer layer was done, I went for my middle layer. For this round of the ornaments, I did it kind of in that middle section. Once again, I laid it out before I actually glued. I figured out where the ornament would hit the wreath or another ornament, and I added the glue directly onto the ornaments before affixing it onto the structure. After you get all of your ornaments on, I suggest hanging your wreath up. You'll notice that there's a lot of holes and your wreath does not look very good at this point, and that's okay. This is where the ribbon comes in. All you're gonna do is cut about 2-inch strips of ribbon, grab a pencil or a closed scissor, and you're just going to go ahead and fill in any gaps you see with that ribbon. Take in your entire structure from all angles and just keep filling it in. You don't need to glue the ribbon or anything like that. Because these ornaments have glitter, the ribbon kind of just sticks on pretty easily. And before you know it, your holy wreath all of a sudden gets filled out. And like I said, does this not remind you of the Nightmare Before Christmas? This only cost me about $7 to make, which is awesome. Or I think it cost me $8. So huge cost savings. Our next one is this spooky candle bowl or vase. So you could use this for your houseplants too. And I have to say, I love this DIY because it's not just Halloween themed. You could literally do this DIY for anything, just everyday home decor. What we're gonna do is we're gonna head to our Dollar Tree and get 2 bowls. Ideally, they're black for this, but if they're not black, that's okay. The real key here in choosing your bowls is that you wanna like the shape of them, their natural shape, and you also wanna make sure that they sit on top of one another really nicely. So you'll see here, mine didn't line up just right, so I have this kind of weird lip. So you wanna make sure you test that in the store before you buy your bowls. Next, if you did not buy black bowls like me, you're gonna wanna start by spray painting your bowls black. Just put them open side face down, that way you don't get any spray paint inside of them. Give them a nice coat. It does not need to be perfect, just kind of get them overall black. From there, we are going to apply a stone spray paint. You can get this, I'll leave a link in the description box below, or you can get it at like Home Depot. All you're going to do is shake this up and spray it onto your bowls. I didn't know which side I wanted to be my top or bottom at this point, so I covered the opening of one of my bowls with some cardboard, and I was really careful to not get any spray paint in there because I didn't know if I'd end up putting food or something in there. So if you already know which side is going to be your bottom, you don't need to worry about covering the opening. You'll see the stone kind of goes on pretty goopy. Shake well, go slow. Once the stone layer of spray paint is done, go ahead and top that off with some black spray paint, let it dry, and now you have this really cool textured vase or candy bowl, however you want to use it. You can add some cobwebs to it like I did mine, and this is it. If you guys make any of these, I would love to see them. Make sure to tag me on Instagram at the Confused Millennial. Be sure to go ahead, check out Callie's video I told you about. See the item I sent her, the surprise item I sent her. I will leave a link to her video in the description box below. And also make sure to check out my Dollar Tree Halloween DIYs I did from last year. There's some really awesome ones in there. Till next time, I'm Rachel. Have a happy Halloween.